Hello and welcome to another Patty Stamps video tutorial. This is Patty Bennett. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I am excited to share 3 tips for using this beautiful Painted Harvest stamp set. You'll find it in the Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog, which runs September through December of 2017. And actually you'll find some dates on the back. You have 2 extra days in January to shop from this catalog. You're going to find this stamp set on page 49 in that holiday catalog. And I shared these samples before. You might remember I have stamped this sunflower in Daffodil Delight and Crushed Curry on these samples. All of those have the same colors, as well as Early Espresso for the center. And then I thought, I wonder about giving it a little more definition. And so I substituted pumpkin pie for the crushed curry, and it gave it a lot more definition. And then I went one step further, and on this one, I stamped the Daffodil Delight twice. So let me show you those tips. So the supplies I have ready here are my Whisper White cardstock, my Stampin' Pierce mat, the 2 images of the sunflower, and the center. They're already mounted on Stampin' Up! Clear blocks. And when you have these clear photopolymer stamps, you want to use one of the Stampin' Pierce mats under your paper, because these are not like a typical red rubber stamp. You see there's no extra layer of foam under here. When you put it on your clear block, it's just photopolymer on clear block. So you need this extra cushion that you would be getting in a red rubber stamp. I also want to tell you that I use a separate mat for piercing. Can you see all those holes? So I don't want to stamp on this one because it might cause some irregular stamping. So I've got 2 of the mats. One does not get pierced. This one I use if I need to pierce anything. So here are the colors that we'll be playing with today. Cajun Craze, Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry, Pumpkin Pie, Early Espresso, and Soft Suede. My first tip for you is to start with the center. It will make stamping these other 2 so much easier. So I have got Early Espresso, and I'm going to do a few different samples for you. So let me just go ahead and stamp 3 of those centers right there on the Whisper White. Now there are 2 different images here, and you can see, oh gosh, there we go. The one on the right is a little more filled in. The one on the left is a little more detailed. Now to my eye, this one would be the lighter color, and this one with the more detailed would be the darker color, because you want your shadows and your details darker. So that's how I stamp this. So I am going to start now with the less detailed one, Daffodil Delight, and I can see right through there, and I can pretty much stamp that right over the center. Now it's light and it's irregular, and it's supposed to be. It's a watercolor. You can actually see by the artwork right on the cover that it's not a solid stamp. This one with more detail that we're going to do next has a little more detail to it. So when you stamp that in Crushed Curry on top of this, you basically get this. And it's beautiful, and it works perfectly fine as is. But what I did find that I liked was I double stamped the lighter one, the Daffodil Delight, but I turned it. I didn't want the petals to line up where they were stamped before. And then that brought in lots of extra color and fullness to the flower. So that's double stamping with Daffodil Delight and once with Crushed Curry. So now let's do that extra definition with the pumpkin pie. So there is 1 in Daffodil Delight. Let me clean that off. Now we're going to go to pumpkin pie for the stamp that has the definition. And you can see right away, big difference. So then let's come in here and stamp another time. And there we have even more volume and more definition in that flower. Big difference, right? Oh gosh, I see that I pressed too hard and I got a little bit in the center. So be mindful of that. Don't press too hard. You don't need to press hard when you're using the photopolymer stamps and your mat. So there's a good little lesson for you. Now on this one, let's try Cajun Craze and the crushed curry. So we'll go like one family darker. So going a shade darker here on both, let's try crushed curry on the lighter one and Cajun Craze for the more defined one. And then look, you get a really pronounced shadow and darkness there. So there you go, 3 really different looks, and you can go into any color range. You don't have to make this look like a sunflower. But let me show you 2 extra tips that I really found helpful. I took my Starburst punch, and when I didn't have time to do a lot of fussy cutting with my paper snips, I simply punched it out with the Starburst punch. And I am making 100 of these, which is why I went ahead and used the Starburst punch. So you can see that that just really makes that quick and easy. The other fun thing is to use your Wink of Stella pen. Just going to give it a little shake. And when you just add some Wink of Stella around the center, and you could do it in the center as well. And I know that's probably really hard to see on camera, but it does add a very pretty shimmer to that flower. So there are a couple of extra tips for you and different color combinations that you might want to try with the sunflower. And like I said, if you don't want to take the time to cut all the petals like I did on this one, then the Starburst punch is a great alternative. I hope you found that helpful, and you can shop for all of these Stampin' Up! Products by clicking shop online at pattystamps.com. Thanks for joining me today.